What's up, YouTube? What's going on? Today, I got to hit you on the real one. 2 mental shifts that I had to make to properly learn to lead myself. I know that's going to come as a surprise, but actually, it's not. When you lose focus and sight of yourself and your life, you're not leading anything. You're not leading shit. And whenever you could take a step back to really, really break down what that means, it makes you it's gonna make you a bit uneasy because you have to now break down your thought process during that period of your life or during the current period of your life. And that's gonna take mad accountability, and it's gonna take a rough conversation, not only with yourself, but it's going to take just a rough conversation in general if you have other people in on this, which I don't think you should. I don't think you should sit in front of anybody and say, hey, man, do you think I need to lose some weight? Do you think I need to get my body fat percent right? Do you need to do? No, I don't think you need to do that. I think you really got to face the man in the mirror, and you have to have a real conversation with yourself. I had a situation the other night to where is you have to take accountability for the stuff that you've done. And I have taken accountability for the stuff I've done, especially in my past, right? Certain things you can't just go back and redo, which is fine. You know, it's life, you're going to live and you learn. But that's why I got to where I am today and where I'm continuing to still go is because of that accountability. I sat in front of the mirror for an hour, and I'm so serious. I sat in front of the mirror for an hour after I started my journey. It was like a week after, I want to say. It was a week after. I sat in front of the mirror and I was just like, damn, man, like, what have you done? You know, you've gotten to this point to where you don't even like to look at yourself in the mirror. You've gotten to a point to where when you go into a room, you know, you just want to hurry up and sit down because you don't want, you know, people just looking at you. Or my favorite mechanism, I'm pretty funny. I find the humor in a lot of things, but that humor was just a mask, right? That humor was a mask for my insecurity. That humor was a mask for just me not feeling good about myself, being depressed. That humor shielded me, or at least I thought it did. It shielded me from me having to account for where I had got to in my life up until this point. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that everything, life is gonna be fucking cakes and rainbows and you're gonna make everybody happy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm simply saying is those situations made me think, damn, was that why I did that? You know, it was 100 and it was about 102 degrees when I first got out here in Poland last year. And it was pretty hot, but I'm wearing a vest over a long sleeve shirt to work. You know, I'm wearing a black hoodie over my dress shirt or over a regular shirt to work. Not because I was hot, but because I was trying to hide my body. I obviously knew I was a big guy, but when I would take a shower in the mirror, like right there, when you take a shower or you look at your silhouette, better yet, when you look at your silhouette, when you go into the bathroom and it's dark and you got the door right there, but you got light behind you, my silhouette even disgusted me. So I was like, dang, like what the fuck? And we don't think about it because we comfortable. You know, we don't think about the shit because we feel like everything is okay. You know, we got the girl, you know, we got your lady, she good. You know, she like me the way I am. You know, my friends, they cool, they like me the way I am. However, that's what you think. You know, don't think for 1 second that your woman don't want a trim, fit guy on top of her or behind her or on the side of her. She want that shit. Don't let her tell you otherwise. Your homeboys, whenever y'all go out and stuff, he depending on you to still be the funny fat guy because he gonna pull more bitches anyway because he not as bad off as you. You know, I've noticed that even in the circle of friends that I did have, everybody wasn't fit, but more people was less, you know, more or less, you know, better than what you were. And I got to say, I was probably the worst one in the group. That's why it was easier for me to lead with money with a lot of shit because I didn't have to worry about having a good body when I pulled up in this badass whip. I didn't have to worry about having a good body when I walked around with $35, $4,500 on me in cash with the American Express Platinum and all type of other shit. Like that stuff didn't bother me because I had access to all these things. But if I could look at that shit now, I would still have those things, but I would have the body that I got now, because you don't have to worry about all that other shit when it happened, when you got all that. It's so funny how the respect factor changed so much. Motherfuckers hold the door. I seen the dude literally, and I see somebody literally just have a all out, hey man, get out my way, why you here, blah, blah, blah. And then I step up, hey man, what's up, how you doing? What? Bro, I just seen you talk shit to this dude, but you gonna sit here and be cool with me. I don't know. You know, it's, to me, I think it's a respect thing, right? If you respect yourself, other people gonna respect you. But it starts with that accountability and knowing that you have to self-assess to learn to take accountability. If you can't lead yourself, how you gonna lead a family, right? And I have to say, I don't think I was mature enough at points in my life to have been the man that I was, right? And let me explain that. For me to be where I was in life, as far as like career, money, status, and all of that shit, I don't think I was mature enough to handle all that, because I didn't have the foresight of, hey, how am I leading my life? How am I gonna lead my family? How am I gonna be the patriarch of my family? It can't just be money. You know, I have to actually be present. You know, I'm thinking about all this stuff now because I've had to mature. I've had to go on this physical journey, which ended up becoming spiritual and mental. I gotta say, I thought it was just gonna be physical. I thought, hey man, I'm gonna knock off 10, 15 pounds and then I'm gonna, be okay. But no, you fall in love with the process, because you don't see much of a difference body wise when you coming from 300 to 290. The weight just come off fast because you're not supposed to be that heavy anyway, but that's motivating, because when you see that shit on the scale, it's like, okay, I'm making progress, I can keep going. Then you see 290, 280. Oh man, bet. Okay, cool. 280, 270, 260, 270, 260, 260, 250. That's when you're gonna be like, okay, clothes fit way different. I'm still okay, but you still kind of look like a bag of milk, because you still, you shrinking. You're not really just, the aesthetic body ain't being revealed yet. And that don't get revealed until later on. That's why when you learn to lead yourself, finally, you have to be okay with delayed gratification. That's why this health journey is so important, because you have to pick which way you're going to suffer. I'd rather suffer waking up 4 o'clock in the morning and going to war with myself, so I know that in at least 6 months to a year, I'm going to look like fucking Apollo Creed. That's the thing. But it became more than just a look. It became who I was. I didn't realize that part was going to happen for me. I didn't realize that that's going to become a non-negotiable for me. This made me grow up in such a way that I kind of wish I would have went through what I went through years ago. Because whenever you have a life canon event, it's going to force you to grow up. It's going to force you to change. I think God had his timing for when he actually wanted me to change, which is fine. I'll never come back God's timing, but I do have a right to question why. He ain't even got to answer me, but I do ask for wisdom and clarity every time I pray. I ask for something just to get my mind in a state of, hey, I need that wisdom, and I need to know so that not only can I help others, but I can also keep myself in check. Because I'm telling you now, being super big pales in comparison to fucking being fit. And I don't like the run. I actually hate it, but I wanted to try it. I was like, damn, I ain't never ran this fast and this far and ain't out of breath or wishing it was over. I've never experienced that before. But now it's like I can experience things because I want to keep pushing myself now. This journey, not only did it make me grow up and mature, but it made my spirit and my soul just really understand what I was missing. And like I said, it made me understand that I wasn't mature enough to be at the levels that I was in life. But by the grace of God, I've touched those levels, and I know I'm going to keep going higher, whether it's on my entrepreneurial thing, whether it's in corporate America, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep, rising to the top. But I had to grow up and mature, but I did it through a way I never thought was imaginable. So fellas, Don't think because you got kids and because you 39, 30, 40 years old that you grown, that you got it figured out, because you don't. You know, we figure shit out along the way, and it came with this journey. It came with having to delay the gratification, right? I didn't really start seeing changes within myself until I hit about 225. And I was just like, damn, okay, I noticed it. But everybody else gonna inflate you. Everybody else gonna say, damn, bro, you look good. Like, what the hell? What kind of crack diet you on? My homeboy Ali Thanawala, God, I love that man. That's one of my homies, man. One of the few people in the car industry that I still rock with. And I tell people all the time, you may not like his approach, but he one of the realest motherfuckers you'll ever meet. And he a fat guy too. He ain't gonna listen to me though. He don't want to get his life together. But he a big guy. And I love him to death. And he would always, man, what kind of crack diet you on? But then that's our relationship. But then he come back to, man, I'm proud of you, bro. You did something that a lot of people can't do. He's a real guy. And if anybody got anything bad to say about Ali, you can go sit on something. And you can go argue with your mama about that. That man got more realness in his pinky than a lot of motherfuckers in that business. But I digress. I do, you're gonna go through those changes. You're gonna go through people either hating on you or they not liking what you're doing because you're doing something they're not doing, and it's bringing attention to you and taking it off of them. Because see, you could be picked on as the big guy. You could be picked on for, you having to wear these big old clothes and shit. But now that you've changed and now that you are changing, they look at you as a threat now because you're not taking the same shit no more. You're not going to tolerate it. That's what I'm saying, guys. When you make this change, something in you shifts. You not only do your self-respect go, but you don't take no shit from nobody at all. It won't be nobody to ever be like, damn, man, what you did, you blah, blah, blah. And I'll just sit there and just look, just not interested in what the fuck you're saying. Look at you dead in your fucking face and just go back to conversing with somebody else. Because for one, I ain't got to give you that time and energy. Yeah, you remember me how I was. That motherfucker's dead and gone, so I could live. And if you so stuck on who I used to be, maybe you're not meant to be with me. Maybe you're not meant to be in my life. That's fine. People outgrow each other all the fucking time. But if you want to get the chance to reintroduce yourself to me and me reintroduce myself to you, you can be my partner, man. You can be my homeboy. But you got to grow up too. So fellas, your circle gonna do that shit. But the ones who fuck with you, they gonna keep it real with you and they gonna rock with you. Something my boy Ian said the other day. Loyalty without integrity is disguised as fear. Loyalty without integrity is disguised as fear. It's okay to be loyal to somebody, but you also have to have the integrity to tell them about themselves. I had 2 or 3 people tell me, my guy, you kind of fucking off. You kind of big. That was my lady. That was Ali. And that was another homeboy. Bro, you done got too big. What the fuck? I scroll through and I look at pictures of myself. I can't even realize who the fuck that was. When I see that guy, I feel bad for him because he was hurt. He was depressed. He was just going through shit. Guys, I was at my lowest. My lady don't even know this shit. My kids don't know this shit, but I'm gonna share it with y'all. 2023. Nope, I'm lying. 2022. Yep, 2022. I had went to this clinic or whatever, because in the car business, you got a lot of people who will go get the surgery just because it's a quick fix. Nobody wants to do the delayed gratification and actually go work on themselves because of the work hours. It's crazy, right? I knew a guy who went and got the surgery, young guy, cool dude, went and got the surgery and shit. Me personally, I think if anybody's gonna get the gastric sleeve or the bariatric, I think it should be for the women, because when some women have babies and stuff and they can't never get that stubborn stuff off and they actually eat right and diet, women are meant to hold fat because they meant to hold babies. That's just my opinion. But you got some guys who go do the bariatric surgery. And I was literally sitting there in that office. I was like, man, I'm just gonna do it. I'm in this business, man. Everybody else doing it. But then I sat there and seen this dude come out. I looked at him and he looked at me. And I was like, why the fuck am I here? I'm not a lazy motherfucker. I got up and I left that motherfucker. Dude, I was at my lowest. Nobody knew I was there for 30 minutes contemplating getting a fucking surgery. Do I regret it? Nah, because I knew what I was capable of. I took account. Now, granted, I still didn't get my shit together because I was working out and eating right for a week and went back to fucking off. But that was when I was at my lowest. Guys, I'm talking to you. You've been at low points in your life too, to either where you went through it the shit or you got your shit together. I'm not ashamed to say that I did that, but I am proud to say that I took accountability and I got my shit together, and you can too. The last shift that I had to make, I had to put my vision into place, right? And that's really hard to do when you're finally learning how to lead yourself, right? The vision I wanted to become and work towards involved me becoming somebody completely different. It involved me having to become this man who emotionally needs to get in touch with himself, who can control himself emotionally, who've gotten way better at controlling himself emotionally, who's gotten more calm with a lot of situations, and who's just more forward about things. I'm used to keeping secrets. That's just one of my things, right? I just keep stuff. It's motherfuckers I don't fuck with to this day, and their secrets will never leave my mouth. That's how I am, right? But I had to come to a place to where if I'm going to make this shift and become this ultimate great version of Sean, some stuff got to fall off. Some stuff got to be let go. I'm okay with conflict now. Granted, I'm still easing into some of these things because, like I said, everything has to be in alignment, and some things are still pulling away because they're still trying to attach on to the old identity of Sean. But the new identity of Sean, it may take me a second, but hey, this is what I'm going to say, and this is how we're going to get through it. I was asked the other day, man, did you do this? Did you do this? Damn, did you do this? And I had to come clean. Yeah, I saw some of it, but I was real about it. Yeah, I saw some of this, but I didn't see everything. But the part that I saw hurt me deeply. You know what I mean? So the old Sean would have just died with the lie. Nah, don't worry about it. Nah, but for what? I don't have a reason to do that no more because the new version of myself, the true version of myself, has to deal with whatever comes, right? I'm reading this book again, and Ego is the Enemy, and it keeps rearing its head. You have to humble yourself in such a point to where the universe is going to work around you. It's hard not wanting to control anything outside of you because for so long I had the illusion that I controlled things. I was able to control people, right? But that's all it was an illusion because while I'm thinking I got control, it might be some other shit going on behind it, right? You just don't know. I finally made peace with, in order for things to happen the way they need to, it's certain shit I just gotta let go. I have to let go of that want to control every single thing in my life and around my life. I had to let go of trying to even steer my son. Hey, son, go to the Air Force Academy and do this and do that. So you had this set up. That's not what he want to do. My son want to do something completely different. And I had to let go and support that because that's the way that the new version of me need to roll because I have to be cool with, I'm not going to be able to control everything. The only thing that I can control is me, my reactions, and how I do things. I can either choose to be that role model or I can choose to be somebody who always want to be so controlling that you repel people and push them away. Now, granted, I made this very clear before. I think I was a great provider, but I wasn't a great anything else because my God was things instead of, it actually being God himself, and I'm still a human being. Like, I'm still going to curse. I'm still going to say what I want to say. But the main things that I want to work on to become better is the access that I give to people. I was always so available that even if I'm busy, you can still call me and I pick up. It's hard for me to do right now, but I told myself, starting this week, I'm not going to make myself as available. So if I'm actually doing something, I'm not going to pick up the phone right away. I'm not going to text you back right away. If I'm winding down and then I can do it, okay, I will. But for me, I had to put myself first. That's what came to the accountability. That's what came with the vision of the person that I'm supposed to be and I need to be and I want to be, right? So guys, if you're watching this, don't be down on yourself, please, because you show me one man who hasn't been hurt. You show me one man who hasn't made bad decisions when it came to himself, others around him and his family. We are all men and we get this information at different times. If I would have knew everything that I know now, back when I was 19 years old, I don't think my life turns out the way it needs to go because I'm going to avoid certain things. I'm going to learn a lot more so that I can prevent myself from being hurt, so I can prevent myself from going through this financial struggle, or I can prevent myself from not doing this because I know it's going to happen. Guys, that's the beautiful part of this thing called life, and we got to accept it. Look in the mirror and look at the scale right now. Yeah, you may be a fat body, you may be a fat motherfucker, but in 6 months, you could turn that shit around. When you look back in your journal 6 months from now, which will be what, November, December, you can be like, damn, that was my mindset. That's how I thought. Are you fucking serious? Well, look who I am today. I don't even think like that. Guys, I can tell you the biggest thing that I was able to get over was a lot of insecurities. It's like, cause certain shit I don't even give a fuck about no more because my mindset changed. I no longer have a scarcity mindset. My abundance mindset is kicking in, and it's kicking in more. And not because bitches are noticing and walking up and talking to me. That ain't even the thing. It's just my faith now. I have I have an abundance of faith that I do have good days and bad days, but I know something gonna work out. I know God is gonna carry me through. I know on the other side of whatever I'm going through, it's gonna be beautiful. And I just gotta be okay with the outcome because it's what God wants for me. It's not what I want for me. The shit that I got may be great, but the stuff that God got may be even fucking better, right? And from a rehabilitating control freak, I had to be cool with that. And like I said, it's a work in progress. I still regress. I still make mistakes. When I don't want to raise my voice, sometimes I still do it. When I don't want to, get out my frame and get off my pivot, sometimes I do. But I'm catching it. And when I'm catching it, I'm correcting it. Progress, not perfection, fellas. So those two shifts help me to not only take control of my life, but to lead myself in a better direction. So not only am I going to be a better leader for myself, but I'm going to be a better leader for my family, my children, my mama, my brothers, my sisters, anybody who's going to need something from me. They can know that, hey, Sean used to be this way, but damn, he got his shit together. And don't do it for them. Do it for yourself. I'm glad I did. And I know you can too. Go ahead, hit that Calendly, set some time up so you can talk to me, and we'll go from there. You already know what it is. It ain't no pitch, because I ain't selling you shit. I'm just gonna give you the game, and you can go through with it or you don't. But we'll see if you qualify for it. We'll see where your mindset at. On that note, I enjoy talking to y'all. I can actually go for 30, 45 minutes, but 20 to 24 minutes, that's good enough to hear my voice while you going on the walk, or while you sitting there in bed, or while you at work. Not here just to motivate you, but I definitely want to give you a different perspective on what life could be if you just apply yourself and put yourself through that suffering. But this is going to be the good suffering. It ain't going to be the suffering where you still look up and you 300 plus pounds and your wife still ain't fucking you and your side chick still giving you the side eye. Nah, all that shit can be fixed. I ain't advocating for side chicks. I'm just bullshitting. But you can do this, man. I'm talking to you, bro. You can do this. I believe in you. And don't play them fucking away games.